Alright, my car is fucking mad at me. Oh, okay. My car is angry with me. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is... Okay, so I just posted a video. I was like, fuck it, whatever, watch. Okay. So I just typed into the YouTube search engine, what is a magic circle? And then I found, you know, a video, scrolled through a little bit, and I just grabbed pretty much the first one I saw. I watched a little bit of it. I only watched like a few minutes of it, and this guy is going over the occult meaning, etc., of the practice of a magic circle, drawing a magic circle. Okay, so, and that, because I'm telling you about, there's this big camp, there's this, okay, so when I'm talking about the magic circle in this town, you've got BLM, miles of BLM land out here in this town. I don't know how much of this you guys will actually believe, but you can look it up for yourself, you know. This town, every winter for decades, draws in, you know, a million, almost, well, depending, it used to be a million or more, and it's gradually declined, but it's still close to 1 million people come here every winter. Come out here to this little tiny town out in the desert. You know, like last year it was like 700,000 or something. And this little tiny town is surrounded by miles of BLM land. And so people come out here and they can, you know, I think the government charges like $1 a day or something. And you can just go park out in the desert, find your own spot, and set up your little spot and fucking dry camp out there, you know. If you have solar and water tanks, you know, blah, blah, blah. So you got all these people come out here. And so, so you've got like set areas, they have names for areas like High Jolly, Skadden-Wash. These are different areas, like massive areas in the desert where people camp. Skadden-Wash, High Jolly, North La Posa, South La Posa, West La Posa, and so the one it's a magic circle. It's called the magic circle. It's been called that for well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to the magic circle. And I'm going to talk to the campground host and ask him about the magic circle, what they know about it. Like, how long has it been out there? But it's been known as the magic circle long before I ever came to this town. And the magic circle is where all the nudist colony hangs out. You know, like, and anybody that's drawn to that kind of, you know, like, oh, let's go check out the magic circle. That's where all the nudist, that's where the nudist colony hangs out. And you definitely have sexual deviants that go out there, okay? And, yeah, but yeah, it's a nudist colony. It's called the magic circle, and you might, and so, what I'm trying to do here is to explain to people, this as part of the storyboard, that this town, there's a reason, very specific reason they have the magic circle, and that it's called the magic circle. It's not just some, you know, whatever, some hippie, innocent hippie name. No, dude, you don't understand. And if you can't even kind of like suspend your belief a moment to just consider that the magic circle is not just some innocent hippie area like that well, I'm talking about like sex magic ritual shit. that has been a long-standing thing going on in this town. Okay, now here's another thing. I'm gonna show, well, I'll just turn the camera now. So that area, all that area right there, all those white buildings right there, that is my boss's property. And my boss told me that all that area where all these white buildings are built on this corner is a Indian burial ground. So my boss bought that property, an Indian burial ground, here it is, and built all this on this Indian burial ground. And that's where I lived for like 3 years or something. And my psycho ex had to, because she had to move in with me there because she was going to end up being homeless. See, look, here's all these people. This is La Posa West, I believe. All these fucking people, and this ain't nothing, dude. This ain't nothing. And then you got it on this side. You got all these people. So this is all this BLM land, and you see all these people, right? Well, there's an area out here that is called the Magic Circle. Okay, and that's why I posted that video about what is a magic circle in relation to, you know, magic and occult and stuff. And, you know, and so this area that has been designated the Magic Circle is for nudists, is a nudist colony. And it's not just like some little tiny section, it's like a big massive fucking area that's where any and everybody that might want to, you know, hang out in a nudist colony, whether they're a nudist, maybe they're just curious or whatever, that's where they all go. Like, you can do a fucking, I was like searching I was searching this town to try to find out if there's anybody talking about any satanic or any kind of shit like that going on in this town. And of course, you know, it's hard to find anything because they're scrubbing all of this stuff. Like this town makes it a point to hide any and everything that could possibly be attached to them as a negative thing, which I'll go into videos showing you all of this. Like, this is totally, all of this is true. And so it's really hard to find anything on the internet or anybody talking about anything that's like fucked up and bad going on in this town. Like, the majority of it is all just fluff piece, how wonderful it is out here and everything. And so I'm coming up on this where the Magic Circle is, and but like in my search, I came across this extremely like these sexual deviant website where these openly sexual deviant fucking scumbags run this little website. It's mostly focused on gay, like, men and stuff, and they're talking about how they came out to the Magic Circle, and then it goes into, it's like terrible, like it has videos, which I didn't fucking watch any of the videos, of course, because it's all extreme pornography where they're like videoing themselves fucking each other in the ass and all kinds of totally fucked up. And they're doing this vlog about how they came to the Magic Circle, and I would imagine they were fucking each other in the ass at the Magic Circle, and, you know, in the nudist, you know, like fucking just insane, just like sick shit, right? So anyways, the Magic Circle. So there was nobody at the kiosk. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop and ask somebody if they know where the Magic Circle is. So, and I just got a wild hair up my ass, and I thought, man, I'm just gonna show these motherfuckers, like, you know, people. But then there's always gonna be speculation, you know, like when I'm talking about there's a Magic Circle out here, people will be like, oh, I don't know, I mean, what, And so then I'll show them, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, so there is, okay, but, you know, how do you know it's just not some innocent hippie thing? Some Wiccan hippies just, you know, it's just some Wiccan innocent hippie thing where they hug trees and run around naked. And then I'll reference, you know, the magic circle in reference to a cult and like conjuring fucking spirits and all this shit, and be like, yeah, you know, I don't know. It's always like the cards are, the odds are stacked against me when I'm trying to explain all this, because it can be so easily explained away as like, well, you know, I see what this guy's kind of saying, but you know, you don't really know for sure, you know. And I was like, bro, which is why I'm doing this storyboard, because everything I'm talking about can all be dismissed as, well, you know, I guess, yeah, but you know what, that could just be anything, you know. So really, this is more for people who kind of are more, they already kind of know that there's these secret societies of fucking sex magic ritual fucking witch cults and shit that are real. This isn't just some bullshit, dude, you know. And so I'm not seeing anybody out here that I could just stop and say, hey, you know where the magic circle is. But I am coming up on some. So anyways, you know, so I wanted to really kind of talk about a lot of stuff in relation to this. So for example, this psycho chick that I'm saying was demon possessed and was involved in a black witch cult and Satanism and shit. You know, when I got to know her over the years, you know, she was always, her and her psycho ex were like festy hoppers. That's what they call them, festy hoppers. They lived in an RV and traveled from one festival to another. And she was, you know, she still had all of her festy hopping clothes, and it was like she's basically walking around naked at these festivals, and the festivals are all about DMT and Molly and like extreme drugs, like really weird shit like that. And she's just like walking around naked, wearing, you know, a fishnet body thing where you could see everything. You could see her cunt and her tits, and if she bends over, you could see her asshole. And this is how these people are, right? I think the magic circle might be over that way. I really would like to ask them. But anyways, and you might think nothing of that. Now, but this is why I'm referencing the P. Diddy, all this P. Diddy shit that's been coming out. It's the exact same thing. P. Diddy's the exact same thing. Their freak off parties, they're all fucking walking around naked with all their shit hanging out, and totally fucked up. It's the whole focus is drugs, DMT. Yeah, you know, it's the exact same fucking thing. That is what her and this guy were into. And like I keep bringing up, at the time, I just feel, you know, people are into stupid weirdo shit, and you know, it's just like, it's so common today. But, and this is not just like, I'm not just saying that this one detail, that she's a weirdo festy hopper walking around naked and all about blasting off on DMT, and that's my whole, you know, evidence. Like, no, this is just one of a massive pile, like a mountain of madness, a mountain of circumstantial evidence, you know. And so, you know, anyways, I'm gonna pull over right here and I'm gonna ask these people really quick. But I want to show you that this is real. This is totally fucking real. Okay, hold on. Excuse me. Do you guys know there's an area out here called the Magic Circle? Is it there? Oh, it's over that way. So I just keep following the main road and. And it's on that side of the road. Okay. I can't tell you exactly how far up down it is, but you'll take a right down in there. There'll be a sign. Oh, there's a sign for it. Sign posted. Oh, appreciate it, man. But yeah, it's on that side of the road. There should be a great big white tent set up there. Oh, gotcha. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, look. So do you see that? You see that? I just pulled up to a random couple, and they're an older couple, retired, nice people. They, you know, whatever. You never know as people, but and they immediately knew what I was talking about. They're like, "Oh yeah, the Magic Circle is right up the road." You know, it's like, okay. And then I don't know if you heard the guy, but he's like, "Oh, there's a sign." You know, so there's a sign designating the Magic Circle, and okay, so now there's more to this. You know, like this guy Dale, who is stalking her and me, the guy that I ended up getting arrested, and he ended up going to prison. He had several sex offender warrants, including attempting to solicit sex from a minor, and he was living at the Magic Circle, okay? And you know, so this is all like circumstantial evidence, but the evidence just keeps piling up and piling up. And this guy who is a sex offender soliciting sex from a minor had warrants for all this. He was her and her psycho ex's only friend, and he was over there all the time hanging out with her husband. And while she was at work, working like 40 hours a week at McDonald's. So she isn't even there. And her husband, with their two children, 6 and 7-year-old children, had this fucking psycho guy, Dale, hanging out over there all the time. And if they're giving their child DMT for his 7th birthday, all these things, they start to add up. You know, it isn't all coincidence that their whole life was like going to festivals where everybody's walking around naked and blasting off on DMT, and that's the same thing as a freak-off party. And that's what their whole life was, is just like touring from one freak-off party to the next. They're giving their 7-year-old child DMT for his birthday. They're hanging out with a fucking with a guy who has several sex offender warrants, including attempting to solicit sex from a minor, you know, and he lives out in the Magic Circle. I mean, there's more to this too. Like, she would go to his place. She would, because he was supposedly helping her learn how to drive. And so there would be times where they would end up at his place at the Magic Circle, and she would like take showers at his place, and she found out he had fucking cameras all over the place, and she said that she, looking back, that he was fucking, he had video of her naked taking a shower in his place, and this is the Magic, and this is at the Magic Circle. You know, and here's another thing where, like, this is a detail where people could be like, oh, okay, yeah, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that everybody that hangs out, you know, he's probably just one of very few people at the Magic Circle that's, you know, sex offender with, you know, attempting to solicit sex from a minor warrants, and it really doesn't mean all that much that he would be hanging out alone with her husband and those two children all alone all the time. You know, I mean, yeah, there's the possibility that maybe they were doing some weird sexual shit, you know, but you don't really know, so it's kind of you know, it's like, you know, and this evidence, it just piles up and piles up and piles up. It's just like one thing after another, and when you put it all together and you look at the whole picture, it's crazy, because you look at one aspect of the whole picture and it becomes obvious, like, she was involved with people that killed Todd Mitchell. They killed Todd Mitchell, and the cops are in on it, are in on the cover-up. So if the cops are in on the cover-up, then they're involved somehow. Why are they covering it up? So I'm driving out here. I mean, this is far fucking out here, man. And, you know, and if the cops are covering it up, then which they are. Like, once you look at it, you'll see that this is like, yeah, dude, these people murdered this guy and got away with it, and the cops covered it up, and they're all self-proclaimed witches. All these people are all self-proclaimed witches and or involved somehow with witchcraft and shit. And this guy and the cops are covering it all up. Well, why would the police? Why would the local police be covering that up? And that's just one thing. That doesn't even include, you start looking at, like, what is this witchcraft? These people are into fucking witchcraft and fucking shit. I'm not gonna drive all the way out here. Like, you guys get the point. Well, that might be the sign. Oh shit, I think I see it. If I can get to it, I will. I'll show you the sign and everything. I believe I just found it. So this video is 21 minutes. I'm gonna start another one.